this conversation. First, before I start, whenever you just want to make a question, make a question. Sometimes we forget about it, so just don't worry, interrupt me. Um, I'm, I'm not exactly the most technical guy, but pretty good at it, so I can answer most of your questions on that. If not, I can get back to my team and shoot you an email with answer to any question you guys have. So what we're going to talk about today is about how we're using customer loyalty programs and satisfaction to better our customer service in our company. Well, who are we? I represent the Devlyn Group. The Devlyn Group is a pretty old brick and mortar company in Mexico that is mainly in optical retail like lens crafters. We operate close to 1,200 stores in 130 cities, 3 countries. We have about 5,000 employees, around 4,000 of those are retail associates. And we handle 4 private brands that are ours, that we operate completely everything about it, and about 8 hosted brands. Hosted brands means we operate inside of another store, a department store like Sears, for example, Sears is one of them, or Macy's or anything, and we operate their optical retail inside of their stores. So we have a lot more policies and guidelines we have to follow inside of those stores. So some will have some functionality and some won't, and that is already baked into our workflows inside of Sugar. So talking about where we were at, we had a customer loyalty program in one of our brands, our main flagship brand, that's Devlyn Optical. So this brand, we got a startup company in Mexico that was handling loyalty programs, and they started operating our loyalty program. And we launched it really like to see what was going to happen. That was a good while ago, I think over 5-6 years. And in that process of initially rolling out the loyalty program, it was ideally the easiest way to budget it as a transactional cost. Each time somebody accredited points, we got a fee. Each time somebody redeemed points, we got a fee. Each time we did a new person in the loyalty program, we got a fee. So that when that really started growing, then the fee started ballooning. It became really difficult for us to operate with that supplier. So, and the other thing that happened was also, he didn't grow in the automation of anything. So a lot of the marketing that we want to do to our loyalty program members got very difficult through their system because it was completely separate from ours. There was no mirroring of the information they had about our customers and that we had about our customers, because a lot of the updating of the information was done in a portal that they had developed. So that was not exactly a sustaining relationship. And when we wanted to port loyalty programs to other of our brands, it became really expensive because each different change in rule cost us. So it wasn't a good option, no? Generally, how do these loyalty programs work? We have 4 branded loyalty programs. It's based on a points system that each point is exactly 1 peso. For your guys' knowledge, it's 5 cents of a dollar, okay? There has to pass eligibility, whatever, you guys got it. It was just never gonna get out of my mouth. So you have to go over a minimum order value, and those points last about 14 months. Now we do have some months of the year where we can tell you, okay, your points are double value, or your points last 1 more month if you want to use them, or 1 more week. And generally they'll have 2 benefits. Or they'll have members only promotion, like nobody gets what you get because you're a member of the loyalty program, or you get added on discounts. Like if the seasonal promotion was 20% or on this product, you'll get 25, no? Because you're part of the loyalty program. So that was basically how it worked. And the architecture was basically, that's really like simple just to show it, but in reality, they worked completely separate. It was based on the card. if somebody had the card of the loyalty program, they could do it, and somebody could have multiple cards. In one sale, he forgot to say he had the loyalty program, and they gave him a new one again. So he had two, and then we had to merge them. Or if he lost one, then somebody used it in another sale, you lost the points, no? So it was very non-personal. What was really important was the card, and you as a client wasn't really important. Any change in information, as I already said, wasn't put into our POS. So they told you, oh, your email is this. No, well, I changed it when I logged into your loyalty program. Oh, shoot, no? So that wasn't really working. And the other thing that was a problem was even if redemptions were real time, in the moment that somebody had points, we would redeem those points immediately. The accreditations of points didn't happen immediately. So if you came and did a real big purchase and you got 1,000 points, 1,000 pesos, you couldn't use them immediately in the next purchase like you wanted to do that moment for something added on you wanted to buy. So we lost those sales. We had to wait till the next day and sometimes 48 hours to be able to see those points on your loyalty program. So we have a lot of opportunities of bettering the system. So when we started the process of deciding who was going to handle that, we knew we needed a CRM program to help us with that. We evaluated 3 companies, Dynamics, Salesforce, and Sugar CRM. And we went through the whole process of evaluating the service of each one, what could be done in them. And we decided for Sugar for many reasons, but mainly because it was in a LAMP stack of a development stack. And we had other systems that were working on those, like our PIM and our ECPR e-commerce platform. So we had already a development team in-house for that. So we were able to just leverage that knowledge, even if the system were quite different. But we thought that was going to be easier to develop. Sugar had a lot more financial predictability. I don't know if you guys have quoted one of the other systems I showed you. Most of the time they'll tell you, well, but that is in another module that it has a separate license that you have to buy. So Sugar, because it contained everything on the license, we were very sure that it only depended on how many stores or how many users we're going to have. And that was the only thing we needed to define. And versus web and on-premise were the same systems. So if we couldn't leverage inside of our on-premise, we could just move it to the cloud easily. And that was very important to us because we didn't know if our server vendor was going to be able to handle it, but in this case it did. So we're using on-premise. So we created a fully integrated system that has automatic workflows with single customer information in one place. And the system is very scalable, and I'll show you right now what we've been able to do. And then the system is completely virtual. Now, all the points are on the ID of the customer. So the loyalty program card that still exists is only the PIN, let's say the access number, and that can change easily. In the future, we will eliminate the card completely and just have everybody have a PIN number or a related number that will help access the use of those points. But right now, what we're using for that is our loyalty card number. And as you see a little bit I know it's not very visible, but what we also did is that now all of our systems can work directly through Sugar and not have to pass through our POS. No, most of the time they would have to ask the POS, POS, how much balance does this have? And the POS had to ask the third-party supplier. And now all our front-end system asks directly to Sugar. How does the new loyalty program work? Well, you have to comply with the eligibility rules. Now it came out, thank God. You can enroll not only in the store, you can enroll through our website. If somebody is given a card or just wants to enroll, they can go into the website and enroll. So it makes it a lot easier. and they can confirm the data, and that data will be ported to the POS. The access to the all the information of a loyalty program is accessed through any mobile-friendly, also through our mobile-friendly website. So you can go into our e-commerce, go to your profile, and see, how many loyalty points you have, what were the transactions you've done. So it's a lot easier to really see and be able to use that program when you're out of the store. You don't need to go to the store to do any consultation. And one of the functionality we just launched a couple of weeks ago was transfer of points. So now imagine if I have a certain amount of points, no? And those points, I want to send them to you because you're my friend or my loved one or whoever. And the only thing I have to do is I go into a website and say, okay, what's your email, Todd? Well, this is your email. I jot it down and say, okay, Todd, let's send the points to Todd. And Todd will receive an email saying, hey, you've been sent these points, and now that Todd can use them, for whoever wants, or he can resend to whatever he wants. So the way of being able to move those points between different family members are really was very important for us to map out who has a relationship inside of Sugar. We know that then me and Todd have a relationship, no? Most probably. Now, why am I sending Todd anything, no? And we've also supported through the Sugar CRM a gift card. So now, for example, we can give somebody we don't know the name of money, no points. And when he consumes that, then we join the gift card to the loyalty program, and then we know who that person is, and we can track everything that happened. And that we're going to be able to use it a lot for our corporate accounts. We have a lot of corporate accounts, about 10,000 signed corporate accounts with organizations in around Mexico City. So instead of telling them, write up a letter, give it to your employees so it can go to our stores and use the money you want to give them for their eye program. Now, here in the U.S., eye care programs are really big. In Mexico, that's not the case, about 1% of everything that's sold, so it's very small. So a lot of organizations give a benefit to their employees saying, we'll give you $30 for your next frames or $50 for your next frames. And instead of them having to coordinate that through just different, very old routines we had, now they tell us, okay, we need this many cards, and we give them the cards, and they can just distribute it to their employees, and then we can use them. And that way we can easily then track down who that customer, what organization is he work with, how much is he using, and then enroll him. And even if he then moves to another employer or a company, we can still track him in every aspect of his future purchases. And that has made our communication a lot nicer. In the past, we used to have one image that was sent in an email, super rudimentary. And now through Acton, we integrated Sugar with Acton. We're using a lot better templates, a lot nicer images. And what has happened basically is that we've grown our loyalty to represent about 16% of our sales. Around $30 is the average redemption, and they will purchase about 2.4 times more money in that purchase. If they use $30, they'll spend about 120 additional, about, let's say 2.4 is about $90 additional in money when they redeem. Generally, it's very funny. I would have never thought that. What they do is they'll use and buy a secondary support product, let's say. I call it support product. It's, if I buy my really good frames, I will buy some cheaper frames just to keep on the side for my house, for my work, for my car. And those I'll buy instead of buying them or never or very far off. That will happen the first 3 months after the purchase in a large percentage of our customers. Basically, what we've done is we brought the repurchasing from 18 months to about 14-month average. So that's really gotten a lot closer to our customers than in the past. So what we've developed now is that institutional and group program. That's what we're launching right now, and we also have a credit scheme, commercial credit card that we use for our customers, and we're going to start porting that information into Sugar and getting customers that have our credit line inside of Sugar and operating it through Sugar and external supplier that does the call center and everything. So that's basically how we've worked our loyalty program. Currently, we have about 800,000 customers inside of our loyalty program, and they represent one of the great majority of our about 2.4 million customers a year that we serve. So we're growing that about 30,000 a month. So it's growing pretty fast, and we're doing really good with that program currently. And so the next step was doing customer support and automizing the customer support, because what generally happened is we had a call center inside of our offices. We answered all the calls, but in reality, most of the problems that we had were being absorbed by our field supervision team. We have about 300, 200 somewhat people in our field supervision team serving all the stores. And they would absorb most of those complaints or problems that our customers had. And we weren't receiving that information. And we didn't know, what was happening in each of the stores. So what we did is we created a customer support portal with Sugar Desk, and we're now inputting all our social media complaints. We have a web form, we have email, and we have automated surveys. And we implemented an escalation process. So first, before I go on the surveys, what we did is we sent an NPS. When they answer anything under 7 in grade, then we create a ticket automatically. And that ticket is served to one of our district managers or field supervision agents, and they will do follow-up on what's happening. Now, we don't send it to our store managers because generally they have a lot of work to do, so we send them to those field supervision team for them to evaluate. If we input they input that the customer has been served and the ticket is complete, we will relaunch. In that moment, we launch an email to the customer asking, did we complete or did we solve the issue you had? And if he answers yes, then it's terminated. The ticket is finished, completed. If they don't answer, also it's completed. If they do answer that it wasn't, then it's escalated to the next person in the hierarchy. And what we also did is that we have certain warranties. For example, we have warranties where if we don't give you your product in the time frame we told you we would, for example, you buy your prescription glasses, we tell you come and pick them up in 6 days, and in 6 days you come and we didn't have it, or we notified you that we weren't going to have it. That happens in the 95% of the cases we notified you before. But if we notify you and we don't have it for you, then we'll start counting day by day how much we take further than that. And if it takes 1 to 3 days, we give you 10 to 20% of your sale. And if it goes over 3 days, it's 50% of your sale of the ticket on your loyalty program. And that is processed automatically. Automatically, it goes into a system, it detects which tickets have had that, and then process it to our customer service manager, and he says yes, no, and it automatically gets accredited to your loyalty program. So that's a little bit of the escalation model. I'll just explain because it's very, very, basically the way it works is the following. When we receive any ticket, first it goes to a certain agent that what it sees, if it's a store problem, or is it a store customer service problem, or is it a general customer service query or whatever. And if it's a customer service, store customer service, it is forwarded to that field supervision team. If not, the customer service agent will solve it. And then, as I said, if it's solved, it will be sent to an email to the customer for them to give us feedback if that happened. If not, it will be escalated to the next level of our customer service hierarchy. What we're going for next is, after we get a certain amount of customer service data, just to give you an idea, about 98% of all our sales are done with somebody assisting you. You generally don't buy frames alone. There's an optometrist. We are the employer of the optometrist, compared in the U.S. that is generally a separate individual. Our optometrists are part of our staff. So all parts of the process are our employees. So we are evaluating that customer service, and we're going to integrate that customer service data of all our employees, stores, regions, districts, all those things, into the incentive programs of each of our employees. So our store manager, if his average grade is low, then his his commission will fall percentage-wise. No? So that's what we're working on integrating. Probably it'll happen in the second half of next year. Then we want to segment certain customer survey experiences for certain types of customers, segments that we have developed, to know what made them buy with us, or what did they like or what did they didn't like, so we can tailor different experiences to them. And we want to create a scoring depending on each of our customers. If that customer is scored a certain way, that can be shown to our associate, so they know, how far in the cycle of purchasing is that customer in, and much more personalized emails. Right now, we do have segments, but we want to personalize to a one-to-one basis we're thinking of a Marcis and mostly a Marcis. There's other solutions like Certona and things like that we're thinking about. But we'll evaluate it for next year and try to get our emails a lot more personalized on a one-to-one basis with each of the customers. No, I'm still kind of skeptical regarding rules-based personalization and machine learning personalization. Does anybody have their thoughts on that? Love to hear back from you after this talk. No? So basically, there's where we're at right now, and that's what we're doing. So I don't know if any of you guys have any questions regarding what I just explained to you guys for presentation.
If you have questions, I have a microphone. If you can just speak into the microphone since we're recording on camera.
Do any of you guys handle a loyalty program? Who is interested in handling a loyalty program? Okay. You're thinking of doing it over Sugar to operate it? Okay. If you have any questions later or when you're developing, we'll be glad to help.
Are you using Act-On to do your automated surveys, and is the feedback that you're getting from those surveys in Sugar?
No, we're using directly Sugar for the emails of the surveys. They are personalized depending on the format where the person bought. We do detect that, and it's sent on a template that is based on the brand format where the customer bought. So he knows, if it's Devlyn or if it's Optimart or if it's in Moda. So it's received, and then that is imported into the customer's profile.
So how are you capturing social media data, and what social medias are you monitoring?
Okay, so most of them is Twitter and Facebook. Those are the great majority of them. We do not capture Instagram or Snapchat or nothing like that. Sadly, we only have presence in Instagram in one brand, well, two brands, sorry, but we still can't port anything there. Otherwise, we just import them. Right now, we're using Acton's add-on that is from Octopost to import. Yeah, it sends you to Octopost, and there you do everything else. But yeah, that's what we're using for our social listening. To be honest, I don't know if we will continue using that because Acton has really done a lot better with those social new modules they're bringing out. So I think we'll just use those in the future.
So you're using social mainly for communicating or for opening tickets and solving them?
From social media?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have not a lot, but whenever we have an issue, the first place we notice it is on social media. So we'll open the ticker directly from social media into Sugar.
There's a question right here.
Actually, I have 3 questions, but 2 of them
Oh,
are pretty
you're
short.
shoot.
First one, will there be a slide deck available?
Yeah.
Okay. Second is, on your surveys you're sending out of Sugar, do you solicit reviews from like Yelp or Google?
Okay, not at the moment. Yelp is not very big in Mexico. Google is. So we are starting a Google acceleration program, and we're going to see how we can be able to solicit them to do on Google My Business reviews of each of our stores. Now we're still seeing how that's going to happen. The only in our reviews, we only do 2 questions: NPS and an open comments box. No, so those are the only things right now we're doing. So hopefully in the future we will ask them to do something on social, on Google or whatever.
Okay. And finally, how are you bringing the data from the surveys back into Sugar?
Okay. Well, it's generally a form that, if you want, I'll show you exactly how that works internally, technically. But it's a form that they fill out. It started out being not correctly a drop-down menu on the form, and they would put the number that they would on our NPS, and then we did it on unique buttons, and that is ported into. That is when they answer, it opens up a website of the form, and there's where they press it, and that is collected into Sugar. Does that answer your question?
It does, but that form that opens up on the website, that is a Sugar form?
Yeah, a Sugar form. A Sugar form.
Okay. But yeah, no, if you got data on that, I would appreciate it.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you want, I'll give you my card at the end, and if you shoot me an email, I'll send you the deck, and I'll share with you how we configured it.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'll even shoot you a survey. And put 10, please. Okay.
In terms of that customer feedback, you talked about the escalation pathway, but what about the reporting and the visualization of the data and what's going on? What system are you using to?
Well, we're only using the dashlets of Sugar right now. We are in the process of optimizing them, of seeing what is the best information and eliminating the noise. So right now, there's very few people that are getting customized dashlets where they can see information. So give me a couple of more months, and then I'll send you what we'll finish doing, because right now we're in the process of defining what is the best information for everybody. No, right now the only thing they'll see is the case. No, all the cases they have.
With regard to the customer survey responses, is that going into a custom module so you can capture multiple responses from the same consumer over time?
No, it's not a custom module. It's the general form module. They're just the workflows. So no, we don't have a custom module, and each survey is associated to a purchase. to a purchase that's registered. So that's how we do continuous of survey purchase, no? Because as I said, each employee will have in the future, right now, we're just adding information, will have a grade that will be averaged from a store, from his region, or a district and region. So that's how we try to give everybody, not exactly saying you are low, but you're low in reference to your store, no? And your store is low in reference to your district. And not exactly just saying this store has to be 4, no?
In your experience, when you have a customer loyalty program, how much more revenue do you see coming to your business? Do you have some metrics in terms of we were selling 100 and then with the loyalty and then we sold 120 or 130? Do you have some metrics around that?
So right now it represents about 16% of our sales currently, no, week to week. Now, as one of the data is we are seeing on average 2.4 times the number of money that is redeemed that is put in as added on sales, no? So it's a pretty good number, but what we noticed is that if you give people too much money, then they'll the add-on sale, the additional income drops dramatically. For us, if you're over 600 pesos, then it becomes a problem. In certain stores, it goes up to 800, but most of the time it'll be 600 pesos. So we have to measure that. And whenever we know that people have too much money out there, the only thing we launch are promotions of redemption, no? Redeem, redeem, redeem. And then when that gets a little bit low, because it can happen, then we start doing things like if you buy this, you'll get a lot more on your loyalty program. So that for us was an eye-opener because last year, about October, November, they were giving a lot of money away, and then sales dropped on the loyalty program as added revenue in January. So that is something to really measure, you know? So, okay. Well, thank you guys.